I got a great video for you today. We're gonna go over the top 10 physiques that you watching at home can achieve 100% naturally. Now, 3 of these physiques were actually achieved in the pre-steroid era. So steroids weren't even a mainstream thing until like the early to mid 1960s. A couple of these physiques were achieved before this era even began, so we know with 100% conviction that they achieved these naturally, and they are so incredibly aesthetic. You can 100% achieve an incredible physique, regardless of your genetics, with 5 to 7 years of consistent hard work. So I know it's not great to necessarily compare yourself all the time to other people, but I find it incredibly motivating to look at the 10 best natural aesthetic physiques of all time. So let's dive right into the list. First up on the list was none other than Steve Reeves. Now, Steve Reeves is actually a movie star and had a very successful bodybuilding career. He won the Mr. Pacific Coast, looks like 2 times back-to-back, and most impressively, he was Mr. Universe in 1950. And many of you guys might know him from the movie Hercules. He was a huge movie star, in fact, in the late 1950s. And the impressive thing about him is he built his physique in the pre-steroid era. So there is no way humanly possible that he was taking any performance-enhancing drugs. The prime of his career was between 1946 and 1952, and he was 6'1", 210 pounds, a 29-inch waist, and 18-inch arms. Just absolutely perfect aesthetics, in my opinion. He was known for a few very interesting rules. He recommended to do leg exercises towards the end of your workout, and he was also a huge advocate of setting a goal going into each and every single workout for maximum focus, intensity, and excitement. And I'm a huge proponent of that as well, just having a workout log and keeping track of your workouts. And as you can see, absolutely perfectly aesthetic physique. Now, the second guy on the list is so interesting, and many of you guys may not know, but he actually invented bodybuilding, and we are talking about EUGEN Sandow, born in 1867, died in 1925, and he was literally the first human being to ever try to sculpt his body in a perfectly aesthetic way. So he tried to sculpt his physique in the exact same way that the classic Greek sculptures were. And as many of you guys probably know, the Mr. Olympia trophy is now called the Sandow trophy. Now, some very interesting things about him. He was actually a huge sex symbol in his day, and this actually ended up being his downfall. So despite his physical strength, his emotional weakness for women did him in. When he died, the public story was that he had a stroke, but many believed that he had succumbed to syphilis, and in retaliation, his wife actually insisted that he was buried in an unmarked grave. So he was one of the first people to take advantage of aesthetics in women. So you might think Connor Murphy and Jeff Seed are pioneers or even Z's. It was actually EUGEN Sandow who was the first person to really capitalize on women and aesthetics. Number 3 on the list is Arnold Schwarzenegger's idol, Reg Park. Now, he was born in 1928, and he built his physique and won Mr. Universe before the steroid era as well. So he was Mr. Universe in 1951, 1958, and 1965. He also starred in 5 films, and he was also featured in Hercules. So it seems like a lot of these guys are also featured in the movie Hercules. Now, he was one of the first advocates of the 5x5 compound strength training regimen. So he was a huge advocate of doing 5 sets in the 5 rep range on the compound exercises. And he was 6'1", 220 pounds, and as you can see, just had that really good classic physique where he had the wide shoulders, the wide upper lats, relatively small waist, and this is the perfect aesthetic physique that you guys should be shooting for. And obviously, being in the pre-steroid era, there's no need to even debate if this guy was natural or not. Next up on the list at number 4 is Reg PLITT. Now, I actually had a chance to meet Reg PLITT and talk to him in depth. I talked to him a few different times at fitness expos, actually exchanged numbers with him and had a few good talks. And Greg was just an incredible guy, first of all. He was my fitness idol. He's the reason that I'm even, working in the fitness industry right now. And unfortunately, as many of you guys might know, he passed away at the age of 37. He got hit by a train, but just an incredible aesthetic physique. He was 6'1", kind of varied between 190 and 200 pounds. He was on the cover of over 100 fitness magazines, and honestly, probably the most motivational guy that I have ever seen in my life. I really encourage you guys, to check out like Greg Plitt's best quotes or Greg Plitt motivation. In fact, I might actually just post a video on this channel on that very soon, because he was such an influential person in my life, especially early on in fitness. They actually used his physique, this physique right here, to be the physique in the movie Watchmen. So he just has like a perfect physique, like perfect abdominal aesthetics, perfectly sculpted chest. He's got the traps and the upper chest combination. And I firmly believe that Greg Plitt never took steroids. His fat-free mass index is right in the high natural range. And this guy was just so intense, had such an incredible work ethic. And you can see him standing next to me. He's not an overly huge guy. He just had insane work ethic and trained so hard in the gym for so long. And I think this is really like the perfect physique that we all should shoot for after like maybe, I'd say 7 to 10 years of natural training. Number 5 on the list is Max the Body. I actually had a chance to work out with Max the Body, and my former camera guy was hired to be his camera guy, so I got to know him a little bit. Now, the thing about Max the Body is many people think he's on different like clenbuterol and different like steroids. He actually just, he's an ectomorph. He trained for about 8 years to put the maximum amount of mass on his ectomorph frame, and he is just so dialed in with his conditioning. Like, I've talked to the guy, and I've got his regimen. I mean, he trains 2 hours a day in the gym. His diet is perfect. His supplementation is perfect. And I think his physique is really a testament of what you can achieve if you, put on a lot of lean mass onto your frame and you're an ectomorph for maybe 5-7 years. And then B, once you have that mass, you are just relentless with your dieting and your conditioning and your aesthetics. So he was known for, he still is known for these really intense training regimens. He does lots of calisthenics training, and he just has incredible conditioning. I mean, probably walks around year-round with between 5 and 8% body fat. So Max is 6'1", 195 pounds, and as you can see, very, very lean. Next up is a fitness YouTuber by the name of Matt Ogus. Now, the thing about people who have a shorter physique, just like a shorter frame, so he's 5'7", 165 pounds. Now, I noticed that the fitness models and fitness celebrities who are between like the 5'5" and 5'10" range, something about their physiques, they're just more condensed and they look bigger in pictures. So I noticed the majority of the fitness models who do really well on Instagram, they're very short. So if you look at Matt Ogus's physique, he's 5'7". He just has fuller muscle bellies, and he has like in his arms and his chest and his shoulders, and that just looks a lot bigger in pictures. But I've met the guy in person. He doesn't look very big at all in person, and I think 100% his physique is achievable naturally. And I think it's a great physique to shoot for if you're maybe between the height of 5'6" and 5'8". You have to understand, when you're shorter, you're going to have more full muscle bellies in your arms and your chest typically. So, putting on a lot of lean mass over the course of 5 to 7 straight years, and then just having awesome conditioning. I mean, Matt Ogus is known. He has a couple dieting and shredding diet videos on YouTube with between like 5 and 10 million views. So he's really known for being huge into exercise science. He knows his nutrition. He has everything dialed in, and he really knows how to cut down and keep all of his size. So I 100% believe you could achieve Matt Ogus's physique naturally. Number 7 is someone who I just met a couple weeks ago. He's another YouTuber by the name of Chris Jones. Now, he's 31 years old in this picture, so he's had a lot of years to put on a lot of size. And as you can see, he's shorter as well. So he's 5'7", about 185 to 200 pounds range, depending on how lean he is. And he has very full muscle bellies in his arms, which obviously is genetic just from having a shorter stature. But 100% believe he is a natural bodybuilder. Once again, a great physique to strive for if you're between, say, like 5'6" and 5'9". Chris works so hard. He's known for his really intense lifting sessions. I've seen him do videos where he's front squatting well over 300 pounds. He might have even done 4 plates on the front squat. I can't recall the video, but he's been training for over 10 years. I think he's been training hardcore in bodybuilding since he's been 18 or 19, so that is 12, 13 years. You do anything straight for 12 to 13 years, and you're going to have incredible results. And Chris Jones' physique is a testament to just that. Next up is Connor Murphy, the YouTube sensation known for picking up girls with his aesthetics. Now, Connor Murphy is 6'2", 200 pounds, and he's got great genetics. Now, he has very full muscle bellies, and he's taller and has a combination of having the full muscle bellies in his chest in his arms, triceps, and deltoids. And I think that's really the X factor for his physique. And then, as you can see, fairly small waist, great V-taper. So just doing things like stomach vacuums and compound exercises over the course of 4 to 5 years is going to really help you get the Conor Murphy-like physique. So I think anyone, 5'11 to 6'3" range who's taller should strive to have this type of physique. So the combination of stomach vacuums and really putting a huge emphasis on, the 3D shoulders, the biceps, the triceps, the abs, the Beachbody muscle groups are going to give you that Conor Murphy-like physique, but 100% he is within the range of being natural based off his fat-free mass index, and I believe he is 100% all natural myself as well. Next up, had to throw a movie star on the list. We have Zac Efron. Now, once again, Zac Efron, I believe, is 5'9", 170 pounds. And once again, if you are lean and ripped, it just makes your aesthetics pop so much more. He does not have a lot of size on him. In fact, just looking at him, I would be absolutely shocked if he could bench press more than like 250 pounds. I highly doubt he could even squat 315. I guarantee you he's not a really strong guy. But even building like 15 to 20 pounds of lean mass over the course of 3 years on an ectomorph frame can make a huge difference, as you can see with Zac Efron. So he's put on a little bit of lean mass, and he just really dials in his conditioning for his movie roles. So I know he documented where he literally went completely carb-free, just had protein and veggies for about 2 weeks. So he's got his diet really dialed in, he's shredded, he's aesthetic. He's obviously nice and tan for his movie here in Baywatch, but I 100% believe you can get Zac Efron's physique naturally. Next up, at number 10, is Christian Guzman, a very popular fitness YouTuber. I was at the Alpha Elite event and actually got to meet him, and he is very small in person, but he's got great aesthetics. 5'10", 170 pounds. He's definitely like 5'9", 5'10", 100% not like 6 foot or 6'1". I think he says he is 6 foot, definitely not 6 foot, but 5'10", 170 pounds, and this should be motivation for you. If you're average height and you're an ectomorph like Christian Guzman, you have no excuse, because he 100%, you can tell by the size of his ankles and his wrists, he is an ectomorph. He's only 5'10", he's very lean and well proportioned, so just focusing on those aesthetic muscle groups, putting on the maximum amount of size, and then really dialing in your conditioning. So obviously, he was shredding for 90 straight days for his vlog series and his competition. So if you have a little bit of size on you and you just stay consistent with your shredding for 2-3 months, you are going to have incredible results. I see so many people in the comments saying, oh, steroids, steroids, steroids. No, guys, all the people yelling in the comments about all these guys, guess what? I guarantee you've never stayed committed to your fitness goals for 2 to 3 straight months. And these guys have stayed committed for 5 to 10 years. So, you know what, guys? This is my list of the top 10 natural physiques in the world. So I would love to hear what you guys think about the list. I'm also going to link to another video in the description of my 5 favorite supersets for building an aesthetic physique. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the video tomorrow.
You ain't got no games. You ain't lift no weights.